Hello, this is Sian Shaw, Senior Lecturer at Anglia Ruskin University. Welcome to this third training video in how to use the MyProgress application. In this video, we're going to be looking at how the mentor completes assessments. So, as in all the other videos, the first thing you need to do is open the application by tapping on the MyProgress icon. And again, you need to enter the student's username and password. And the service ID is always ARU for Anglia Ruskin. And we sign in. And it comes up with the assessment menu. Oh, what it's actually doing is, because I'm in a Wi-Fi accessible area, the tablet is actually syncing and fetching any new assessments that have been sent out and actually sending any completed assessments to the server. So this is what the student will be doing at home or when on campus. If it does go into sync, then that's absolutely fine if you've got Wi-Fi access, and you can see that I've successfully received 2 new items, and those are probably the assessments that I completed previously. So if that comes up, we just tap OK, and that clears it from the screen. So if the tutor sent out any new assessments, they'll now be on the tablet. So we want to complete an assessment. The first assessment that you need to complete will be the induction meeting with clinical staff. And that's to be completed on the first day in practice. So that's number 2. So to complete the assessment, we just tap to open it. You can see I've already completed some of the information. So I'd saved it as a draft. So you can see I've got Addenbrooke's and the placement area is D3. We just tap on things to actually complete it if we want to do that. So if I wanted to change my placement area, I can do that and save it. And then we just type or just tap on the little icons to say that we've completed it. When you've actually finished what you're doing, and this is the same with every assessment, you need to go to the little square in the top right hand corner. So the little square in the top right hand corner. I haven't completed everything, so if I try and send this as completed assessment, you can see it won't let me do that because I've got to answer all the questions. So if that comes up, just tap OK and complete answering all the questions, and then you'll be able to send it. On the other hand, if you are busy and you get called away, for example, to look after a patient, then you may want to just save as a draft. So saving as a draft doesn't actually secure the document. It means that things can be changed. So the student can change anything you've entered, so it's really important to check the data when you come back and send it as completed. Once the assessment's sent as completed, that's secured and nothing can be changed. So if you want to cancel this attempt, you can press cancel, or you can save as a draft. And that actually will take us back again to the main menu. And the assessments are exactly the same as an experienced mentor will be used to seeing in the paper document. So we could go through to something else that might be familiar. So for example, we could open a cluster skill. So this is the cluster skill on care and compassion. And you can see that we're grading the students. So the grading options that you're given are dependent upon the stage of training the student's actually in. So here we can choose grades 1 or 2, because this is just a first year student. With a second year student, you can select a grade 3. So you can actually select how you want to grade the student for this particular cluster skill. On some tablets, rather than actually these little boxes, it will be a sliding bar where you can slide between grades 0, 1 and 2. Same kind of idea. If you want to know a little bit more about the performance criteria, then there's 2 useful documents. So there's 2 attached files there which give you more information. So if you want some more information on how to complete this, you can just tap. Let's go back on the attached file, and you can see this file is explaining what the expected grades are for year 1, and so that can help you make your choice and grade the students. When you've finished with that grading section or with that information and you've read everything you want, you just need to tap done. So in the top left corner you'll see the words done. Just tap done, and that takes you back to the main assessment. And as every single assessment, when you've actually completed it, you need to tap on the little square box in the right top of the screen with the arrow, and you can see you've got the same 3 options. And just to remind you that if you tap on send this completed assessment, what that will do is it will ask you for your username and email address. In fact, let's go back. Let's send it. It won't let me send it because I've got to complete all the assessments. Let me actually complete it so I can show you exactly what you need to do. So there's one more section to do here. Just sign in my name to this assessment. Okay, so I'm going back and I'm going to send. So I'm tapping on the little square in the top right corner. And I've got a choice of what I want to do. So I can cancel this attempt, which will just take me back to the assessments. I can save it as draft, which again, it will save what I've got, but it can be changed, or I can send online as complete. Oh, still haven't completed everything. So what have I missed out? Let's go and have a look, see what I've actually missed out. I confirm. Oh yeah. Just that section on the bottom. So if it won't go, it just means that you've forgotten to complete something. So just go and have a look and check what you need to complete. So save that now. Tapping on the icon, it should let me send it now. Yep. So this is the security section. So you're going to have to put your name in here. So this is your name as the mentor. So you're putting the mentor's name in here, and this is the mentor verifying that you've completed it. And the mentor puts their email address in. And you remember from the first video that you need to use your work email address. Okay, so using your work email address, and when we tap this as okay, a couple of things will happen. One is you as the mentor will get an email to the email address that you put in this box with a copy of the assessment and notifying you that you've completed that assessment. The assessment will also be uploaded onto your web-based account that you set up during the registration process. You can see the first video on how that's actually set up. And so that stops falsification of the documentation in a couple of ways. One, if the student uses your email address as the mentor without your knowledge, you'll be notified of that via the email, and also you'll see that that assessment has been completed and it pops up in your web-based account. And should that happen and you don't recall completing that assessment, then you need to contact the educational champion. If the student uses an email address that is not your email address, then when the tutor has a look at their account, they'll be able to recognise that it isn't a trusted organisational email address. So if the student uses something like Yahoo or Google, then they will actually query that with you as the mentor about whether you completed it or not. So we're just going to tap that as OK, and it takes us back to the assessments, and that assessment has actually now been sent. So all these assessments are completed in very much the same way, and you'll be completing formative and summative assessments as if you've always done. What we will be doing though is to make your life easier, again as I've decided to sync again because I've been scrolling up and down. To make your lives easier, we'll be sending out the assessments to the students so that in the first week all they have on their tablets is the assessments that's needed in the first week. At the end of the first week, we'll send out the assessments that they will need for the formative, and at the end of the formative, we'll have the assessments that need to be completed at the summative assessment. So you don't actually have too many assessments. You can see that actually that device is synced, and what's actually happened is the assessments I've completed have actually been sent and received. Again, you don't need to necessarily worry about that in the practice area, but it's what the student will be doing, or it may happen if you happen to have Wi-Fi access where you are. So that's how you actually complete assessments. If you have any questions about which assessments need to be completed, then that's something that you should address with your educational champions, or they may put you in touch with the personal tutor of the student who'll be able to guide you on what assessments the student needs to complete and when. If you have any queries on how to complete the assessments which are digitally based, so they're to do with the technology, then of course I'd be delighted to hear from you. So contact myself, Sian Shaw. My contact details are at the front of the app, and I'll be able to help you with any problems that you've got. That completes this third training video. Thank you.